The purpose of this video is to give you an introduction in some of the configuration options of the XpertMart accounting module. XpertMart has built into it accounting services, you might call them, or module. At this point, we don't really propose that XpertMart would do all of your accounting. The idea is XpertMart can make at the end of the day, what's called the general ledger journal entries for your accounting, so it can summarize what the transactions that occur in XpertMart, so that they can be applied to other accounting systems. And we have several links available for to link XpertMart to other accounting packages. So just to start off, that's quite an introduction there. I'll just start looking at configuration. Under configure, we have options for accounting. And we're just going to try and go down the list right here. We have the first one is General Ledger Configure. And under General Ledger Configure on the left side, we have several options. The first one is called General Ledger Posting. And there's a date when you want to use to post for General Ledger. And this is really going to be the last date that it was posted. It kind of gives you a reference there. Below, we have three options of which date it should use to post transactions from XpertMart. One is that it uses the document date or period date as the posting date for updating. What does that mean? Well, if I'm posting a sales document, and we'll get into how that's done, or a series of sales documents, and we're using the document date, then whatever the date that document had is the date it's going to have for to show is posted on the accounting on that date. And the other one is to use the last update date as posting date for updating, and that's where this date right here on top, the General Ledger post date, comes in on that. That would be the last date used, and so it would use that posting date. And the other option, the final option, is use today's date as posting date for updating. Perhaps need to clarify at this point, there will be a process that you run in XpertMart that's called update accounting. We will look at that. And so when you update accounting, it may be doing transactions that occurred days earlier, dates earlier, or transactions usually not that have occurred the same day. So this is just setting it up which way, what date we want it to use. Going to General Ledger's General Values, XpertMart is a multi-store software. So if you're using more than one store, there is the option that each store could be a separate company in regards to accounting. If that is the case, we would check box this right here. Pretty simple. If not, then you could have multiple stores. If they're all part accounting-wise of the same company, then we don't have to check that. Then we go to General Ledger Accounts, and this is because of the different systems that we would like to be able to interface with. This is a little more detailed perhaps than what most people would use. But we have we can have different levels of account numbers. Some accounting packages use that. We're always going to have a top level account number, and that's going to be you can, and this number that's right here, top digits in the top level account number, needs to be at least 1. And I will explain that a little more. It's going to allow us in reports and things like that to break out. There was a traditional idea in accounting that 1 digit accounts number starting with 1 were assets, and 4 were sales and things like that, or 5 were sales, and so that allows you to follow that scheme if you're going to use that first digit for those purposes. And then within the number itself, out of these different levels, we're going to build a single number. There could be a dash after that or no dash after that. The way it's set up right now is we're just going to use 1 digit for the top level, no dash. Then we can go down and use as many levels. Well, we have up to 4 levels in addition to the top level, which would be a total of 5 levels. Most people today tend to make their numbers rather simple. So we want to maybe just use 1 digit up here and then the rest of the digits on the level 1 and account numbers. You're going to use that level or not. You click that you're going to use it and how many digits. So, for example, right now, if you can see, there's nothing else checked here. This would be an example of using a 3-digit account number. Your accounts would be from 000. We'll probably won't have a 000 account, but all the way up to 999. And the first digit gives you the top level, and the next 2 digits give you the actual specific account number. But and then there could be a separator, there could be a dash between that number and these 2 digits or not. And then you can go on down and you could use another level, how many digits in that. You could use multiple levels with multiple amounts of digits. And then there's the possibility of using digits and department numbers. If you're going to separate accounting by department, so then you could have a digit at the end or several digits at the end of the number that specify the account, or you could have digits at the end that specify the store, and you can use both of these if you wish. And you could know that an account with, say if you only had less than 10 stores, you could use 1 digit down here, and you have store 1, store 2, store 3 on every account that you make. But set this up, again, nowadays most of this is going to be real simple. Recently I've seen a lot of them that are just 3 digits and 4 digits and so forth, maybe 5 at the most, and don't necessarily have any particular hierarchy. Going on the left here, we have the general ledger journal. And on each general ledger journal, hopefully you are familiar with what that term is. It's going to be an entry in which we say, credit this account, charge that account, balanced entries into the general ledger or to the accounting system. And we can have whether we're going to use descriptions on journal detail lines or not. And that will become clearer as we get along. So right now it is use descriptions on each line. What does each line on that journal refer to? And XpertMart will automatically pull out some document numbers and put there. So that's why we have that there. But if you don't want those descriptions, you can take that off. So then we go into the whole idea of posting. And the posting is, again, looking at multi-stores, do you want a separate journal entry for each store? Maybe they're all going to the same account, but you have a journal entry. Here's, for example, if we're posting sales, or XpertMart's posting sales, you could say here's sales for store 1, here's sales for store 2. That would be a separate journal entry for each store. Or, you say, hey, to me it's all one business, just combine all the stores. This is the sales for the day of our stores. It would all get combined on one single journal entry. And within XpertMart to accounting, there can be rounding errors. And if XpertMart accounting is set up right, the reason we're going to have accounting errors is that within XpertMart we use decimal fractions because of all the different reports that you're going to have. You may have report with tax, without tax, reports by departments, reports by store, by employee, with discount, without discount. So at the end of the day, for reporting purposes, by using long fractions, 5 or 6 digits of fractions of cents, it gives us a more accurate reports. We don't have, if we did not do that, we could have half cents off on each item going into report, and then after a while it would be a lot of difference. But by using by using a lot of decimal precision, then we avoid those errors within XpertMart for reports. But accountants are believers normally not in half pennies. Their smallest thing is going to be a penny, so there will be some rounding going off there. And again, the way things are done, normally those roundings are going to be a question of a very few cents. But we're going to pick off the menu, and before I'm done with this video, we'll see a menu where we're going to set up our account numbers. We're going to pick off of this menu an account number to which any rounding errors will be applied. So suffice to say that that's where the rounding errors go when we start posting. We have, jumping ahead on the left side here, we've divided the documents or transactions that can affect accounting into 4 different types of documents in XpertMart. Receipts refers to receipts or receiving vouchers from vendors. Adjustments means adjustments that we have made to the inventory. Slips are transfers that we have made from one store to another store. And last of all, invoices is what we have for sales. So now, starting back at posting receipts, we have, and we're going to look at this in a minute, a place in XpertMart that we can set up a catalog of GL general ledger journal types. And the basic idea is if we have 4 types of documents, and we can have a receipt journal entry, an adjustment journal entries, slip journal entries, and invoice journal entries. And when you go in and look at things in accounting, it just makes it a lot easier to say, oh, this journal entry was generated because of something we received. This journal entry was generated because of some adjustments we made. So it makes life a little easier. You don't have to use, you could all use only one type of journal if you wanted to. Talking about posting vendor receipts, we can make 1 journal entry per receipt, 1 journal entry per day, everything received in the day, or 1 journal entry per month. So depending how general you want to be. Generally, we found that receiving vouchers are usually a fair amount of money, and so we usually want to have those just each one on its separate journal entry. But again, there's 3 options there. Use the one that you most like. Here is a checkbox that's important, and that's going to depend on the accounting system to which you may interface at the end of the day, and that is post credit vendor receipts directly to GL. What does that mean? If we bought stuff on the credit from with credit terms, payment terms from our vendor, then that receipt is generally going to go also to an accounts payable system. So if it goes to an accounts payable system, often that accounts payable system, when it receives a document like that, is going to affect the accounts within the accounting system. To avoid duplication, we would not want to post those vendor receipts to general ledger. So this is going to depend a lot on how your accounting system you're going to interface with deals with vendor receipts that are paid for on a terms basis or credit basis. We can post global net cost to this. If we don't post global net cost, then we can get into discounts and post those to different accounts. But if not, we're just going to take the global net cost. What does a global net cost mean? That means, let's say we're receiving 3 different particular types of merchandise or lines of merchandise. Maybe one of those lines we get 10% off on, the rest of it we don't. But maybe our vendor gives us 5% general discount. So the global net cost would be how much is each item on each line after taking away any discount on that line on the voucher, and also the discount at the bottom of the voucher. And so here we have some description. One below that is post the vendor's invoice number instead of XpertMart's number to invoice number. Each journal entry for a receiving voucher has a place to put an invoice number. So should we put XpertMart's receipt number, or should we put in XpertMart receipt you can put in the vendor's invoice number? So you pick which one of those you want. The vendor's invoice number. If not, it's going to do XpertMart's number. We could use the vendor's invoice date, or we can use XpertMart's receipt date. If we checkbox this, we use the vendor's invoice date. If not, we're using XpertMart's date. Then here we can post XpertMart's number, invoice number instead of vendors to reference. There's another field on general ledger entries, reference. So we might want to put one number as the main number here and the other number as reference. And again, best thing is work that out with a couple of examples, and you can see which way you want to set that up. Vendor receipts or vouchers allow you to have up to 3 discounts. And so if we don't post global net cost, then we can decide to which account we want each one of those discounts to go for. One of the discounts might be for prompt payment. The other one might be for whatever reason. Some people in their accounting just want to see, again, the net cost. And other people want to say, well, the cost would have been this, but I got so many discounts for financial reasons. I got so many discounts for volume or whatever, and apply those differently. So that pretty much handles posting receipts. Posting adjustments, quite simple. Again, what journal type, and in this case we made a journal type which is adjustments journal. And the same thing basically as we had above is, do we want 1 journal entry per each adjustment document, or 1 journal entry per day, or 1 journal entry per month, as you wish there. And again, hopefully it's clear what that means. Posting slips, when we talked about slips, we're talking about transfer slips What type of journal entry do you want to use? And again, we've chosen to have a transfer journal type of journal entry. And again, the same question, do you want one journal entry for each transfer slip, or one journal entry per day, or one journal entry summarizing the whole month? And within transfers, we can have what's called in-transit inventory. So there's a temporary holding account, and here we choose which temporary holding account. When we transfer stuff out, it'll go into the holding account. When we transfer it in, it'll come from the holding account to the other store's inventory account. And again, that would be, we're talking about here, this account would cover the cost of inventory. And then we go down to invoices. Very simple. What type of journal entry do we want? And we're going to use journal entry type. In this case, chose one sales. And again, one journal entry per invoice. That may be a lot for sales. It might be more common to make one journal entry for the whole sales of the day. But we also could go as far as to just say, just summarize the whole month and give me one journal entry for that. Since this has taken quite a while, I will continue in another video with the general ledger catalogs and so forth. Thank you.